Hello and welcome to episode 60 of FPL Apprentice, the podcast that delves into the mind of one of the greatest players to ever play the FPL game. In his 9 seasons of playing the game, there are 6 top 10k finishes, 5 top 5k finishes, and a former ranking officially of world number 1. That is, of course, Mr. Matthew Corbridge. Matt, how the devil are you, sir?
I'm very good, my friend. I'm very good. I've got to say, you are the utmost professional, right? Normally, we've got 10, 15 minutes to chat. Nonsense. You can prep your intro. I think we had 90 seconds to do it. So that was a great intro. So congratulations.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I get used to saying it, I guess. I know you don't like it when I delve into too much. I try to cut it down just to not make you blush too much.
I hope no one's honed in on it, but I reckon you've got different stats each week. I don't think
just make them up.
Fact checkers.
We did once get asked, like, how prove, like, not in a horrible way. It was just like, how can you make sure, like, how can we clarify his former world number 1? And luckily for us, when you got given the rank, Focal reached out to you, did he not, and interviewed you, I believe. So I just sent them to that video. So that, if Focal's not a liar, right? If you call him Focal, he's like the nicest guy in FPL. That guy's not making anything up. Leskip's in, by the way. How are you, Leskip? Nice to see you. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. But yeah, how's your Christmas week? Obviously, you've got your Christmas jumper on. I'm letting the side down.
I've made an effort. There's a tree in the background. There's a jumper on. I mean, you could at least put a Santa hat on that duck, but
yeah, you know what? My wife said to me as well. She was like, "I've got this Christmas lights. We could put it in the background." I was like, "Nah, don't worry about that. We're not making much of an effort." And there you are with all of the effort, and I'm showing. I'm letting the team down, pal. I'm letting the team down. But as promised, I do have a little Guinness. Got a nitro surge for Christmas. Did Christmas early with my family this weekend. So yeah, little Guinness. No Guinness glass, unfortunately. So I can't split the G.
Cheers that.
Skip, what are you drinking, my friend? Put it in the chat. If it's a cup of tea, I'm going to be slightly jealous. But yeah, game week 17, been and gone. May as well jump in, see where we're at, see how we did. Do you want to go first? Or do you,
I'll start because I reckon you got a more interesting story, right? So I ended up on 82 points, which was another green arrow. I think I've had 9 in a row, which is probably the most I've ever had. But like each one has been like a little 10% climb. So I've gone from, I think, game week 8. I was a 3 million rank, and I'm up to I'm in the top million finally. But it's been like little marginal gains. But like I think it's always nice when you get in the green. So I had getting a small green from 1.1 to 966k. I mean, my story, my team, I'm happy to get a green without Isak, who was like a glaring kind of the player that I didn't own, who kind of went mad. And I guess happy to get a green without Rodgers as well. Controversial opinion, maybe a bit bitter and salty, but I'd say if you're starting Rodgers, your team was pretty weak.
I considered. I know I benched him in the end. I considered
I would have started Semenyo, and Semenyo got his points. I would have started Semenyo over Rodgers all day. Like I think teams that play at the start and Rodgers, I think are probably like that cheesy word suboptimal. But happy to get 82 without hitting on those 2 guys. I decided to roll. The transfer I was considering was Cunha out to Isak. And I would have moved Mbumo to Enzo. So obviously in a one game week isolation, you can't really predict the hat trick. But obviously I would have been net up versus that. But with the Saka injury and the knock-on effects there, I think it evens itself out. So yeah, decent week. Going back to front, Solanke, Cunha, João Pedro. Solanke finally in a big Spurs game with lots of goals has kind of scored. Got his returns, which was nice. Goal and assists of 9.7. Cunha, he's got his goal on he's on that lucky streak where if he gets any sort of return, he gets 3 bonus as well, which is somewhat fortunate. But we'll talk about Cunha kind of shortly. But Solanke, he's doing enough. He's doing enough for me, so I'm quite happy to have him. Spurs scoring a lot of goals, and I think he's one of those players that he's doing a lot, but in European fixtures as well. So I think he scored twice midweek as well. So I think, deserved returns. I don't think they were particularly kind of lucky, like his returns. João Pedro is a worry if he wasn't. We got him I think I got him at 5.6 million. So at that price point, you got to take anything. But kind of like thinking, was Welbeck the actual? Was he the cornerstone for like when Brighton were doing good? It was crazy. I don't rate him as a player, let alone when he's in his mid-30s. But yeah, it was Welbeck the person that's unlocking everything. João Pedro again, the position was like awful. Into the mids, Palmer blanked. Not particularly surprised with that. I think some people were saying it was a close captaincy, but I thought Salah was definitely better. I think Everton are defensively looking pretty sound. And Boomer blanked, which isn't a surprise. Saka injury, and then Salah with a huge haul, right? But I'd say well deserved. Actually, looking at the game, right? That wasn't a fluky lucky result. I haven't looked at the underlying stats, but his XGI would have been around 2 or above, right? It was a great performance, and he's absolutely flying at the moment. And then defensively, got Colwill is 6 points. I think Colwill, I'm not quite far behind now compared to the other options that I could have got last week. I brought in Colwill last week. I could have gone Hall or Robertson. Robertson got another clean sheet, and I think Hall got a clean sheet as well. So given Colwill blank last week, and both those guys got returns. I'm lagging behind, but overall, fine. 82 points. I'll take it without Isak, mate. But I won't dwell on. I want to make that point on Rodgers, but But your week, mate, your first ton of the year. And that bench,
there's nobody points.
You start the bench or the ton.
Let us know firstly. Let us know in the chat how many points you got this week. But it's my first century, and I was pretty annoyed. Rodgers, I come 5 o'clock on Saturday, just looking at Rodgers and Ian sat on my bench with 29 points. I know this is me being greedy. It can't be. So Jonas needs to get off. I think he's. Thanks for watching
that as well.
Keeping the in-laws. Appreciate that, Jonas. But well, I'm sure we'll catch you on the next one, pal. But appreciate the commitment to watching. But if I'm being greedy, I did a transfer that I probably didn't need to do. You tried to talk me out of it. In all fairness, last week, ended up moving Mikalenko out for Robinson. I would have played Aina if I'd have kept Mikalenko and rolled the transfer. So that was a little bit disappointing. So at -9 on that one, my thoughts behind it, long story short, Brentford at home, very good. Undefeated, scored in every game. I'd averaged over 3 goals per game at home, by the way. And as much as I like the Nottingham Forest defence, I just thought Robinson's more likely to get a clean sheet. And after watching him get 2 assists at Anfield, I thought he could also get an attack return.
I won't beat yourself
up. That's why I did it.
You can't predict a 15-pointer and like Aina score, can you? But I would say it was like we agreed Robertson was better last week, but wasn't an absolute essential transfer in it. And then
exactly
things can happen. Exactly. So interesting to see your transfer moves now. Like, I mean, if you have Saka's got injured and you probably don't have a great pathway to Trent. So like that's no. But in isolation, it was fine. You can't predict 50. I wouldn't beat yourself on that. Beat yourself up on it.
No. I mean, it's hard to beat myself up when I've ended up 130k for the game week. FPL FOMO, who I'm chasing in our mini league, has thrown in a 91 points, 28 on the bench for FOMO as well. I think I looked at your team, FOMO. I think you had Aina as well, did you know? Let us know. I'm pretty sure you did. But the rest of the team, mate. The rest of the team, other than that transfer, it's hard to complain. Sanchez, clean sheet, save point, 2 bonus to bring home 9. Robinson, who were bought in, got a clean sheet. Semenyo got a goal. First return since game week 10 for Semenyo, by the way. So he's not been great, but managed to get a goal this week. Cunha a goal and 3 bonus points. Could have easily had an assist, if not 2, if you watch the highlights. He was putting some great crosses in. Isak hat-trick, first ever Premier League hat-trick for Isak, by the way. But 17 points with his 3 bonus. And then, went for the Salah captain, 2 goals, 2 assists, 3 bonus points, 42 overall. Game week rank of 130k, 103 points total, moved me from 194k overall to 81k. Nice. So, as much as I can feel disappointed about Aina, I was never really going to play I was never going to play Rodgers over Semenyo. Really, it was only the Aina one that maybe would have got me to 112 points. But yeah, I can't complain, mate. I was wrong. FOMO didn't have Aina. He had Robinson and Colwell on the bench, so some clean sheets followed by Rodgers, I assume. But yeah, but it does leave me with one free transfer. I've got some ideas. I'm not completely opposed to taking a -4, if I'm honest, ahead of game week 18. But we'll touch on that in a little bit. So,
oh mate,
yeah, can't
you're
complain,
flying,
pal.
mate. Congratulations! Like, yeah, this is if you screw it up from here,
I'll blame you. Blame you. You're the
I mean,
mentor.
you're looking really good. I think. Yeah, did you consider Rodgers over Semenyo? Was that 50-50 or not really?
Not really. Not really. I think I've still got it in my head that City are the best team in the league, and that might be me speaking as a Liverpool fan. But yeah, I still think they've got to come good at some point.
I mean, Rodgers has been quite average recently as well. I won't check the stats, but I would have picked Semenyo as well for sure over Rodgers. So again, controversial. It may seem bitter, but I reckon if you're starting Rodgers this week, you've got a weak team in you.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. You've always said to look at the expected goal involvement per 90, and Semenyo's is quite a bit superior to Rodgers. So that for me was like, well, I'll play Semenyo. Luckily, I was very bitter about it after the Villa game, but Semenyo covered me a little bit. At least he got a goal.
No, for sure.
Same with Robinson with this.
It's not big, and that's what I was thinking with my potential move was Isak in for Cunha. Cunha still got 9. I know it's very hard to predict a hat trick, right?
Yeah.
That's this complete random event, like you said. It was the first one Isak had, so I probably should have made that move, but I'm kind of happy overall.
Yeah. No, good. And again, we're both been making a lot of green arrows of late, so climbing up. We're both going to finish in that top 10k. FOMO ended up having actually Kirkes and Mikalenko on the bench. That's 13 points plus Rodgers, which was an additional 14.
I think
yeah,
you always like that's to reassure yourself. You'd always be benching a Mikalenko, a Kirkes, and a Rodgers, right? Man United away. Was it Chelsea away?
Chelsea at home.
At home, but still Chelsea kind of look
Still
at like
Chelsea,
second in the league, and right? So I think like you got to reassure yourself that there's some sound logic going in there. I mean, the only thing with your teammate was just that Robertson move, and it was like it wasn't an absolute necessity, right? It was an okay fixture for Aina. You got punished, but because like
I was playing for the clean sheet.
But I think I'm always cautious of those things. It's like if it's like a 60-40 in terms of doing that, I'll wait for more info.
Yeah. It is slightly bitter, but yeah, I can't be too harsh on myself. Sal's throwing in a good question. Bring it. Hey, tell you what, let me click on it. Bring it up on the screen. Boom. Who you guys taking for Saka? Well, Salah, we will be discussing Saka. And Matt has already made a move, haven't you, Matt? You don't have to tell us now because we will come on to it.
Mine's a little bit different. Mine's a bit of a long-winded answer for who I've actually brought in for Saka, but I'd love to hear everyone's opinions. Put it in the chat.
Yeah.
I think we've limited to we've got 8 options of premium. Well,
I'm going to hold us to account, Matt. I'm going to hold us to account on that. As much as we'll discuss 8, we can't come off a podcast going, we said there's 8 options. We need to, both of us, once we've discussed the 8, pick our one. And they are the only ones we can be like,
easy.
They do all right.
Easy. I reckon there's a clear mid-priced option and a clear cheaper option. So.
Yeah. Okay. We will jump on. Very quickly, update on the mini league. There is now 81 in the league and a brand new leader. Obviously, I'm pretty sure his name won't be Harry Potter, but Heartbreakers FC are straight in at the top. 82 points for the game week, giving them 1,115 even. 55, can't read the numbers. 1,000, I'll stop drinking that Guinness. 1,155 total, putting them in a world rank of 5.4k. Harry Potter also benched Aina. Same as me. All the geniuses did, Harry, so don't feel too bad on yourself. 81 in the league. Matt, you are currently 51st. I'm up to 13th.
Ooh,
not far off breaking the top 10. Hopefully, that said, I'm still second in the battle of the David Saunderses in the league. FPL Dave is still ahead of me with Sorry Nick Jackson. He's in 11th, 6 points ahead of me. I'm coming for you, Dave. I am coming for you. But if you do want to join the league and you're not in it yet, you can do so with the code on screen. That is T27ZGC. That is Tango 27 Zulu Golf Charlie. I'm pretty sure I'm chasing FOMO, who's in the chat as well. I'm pretty sure you're one place ahead of me, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
FOMO.
FOMO's been in the top 10. He's been in the top, they've been in the top 10.
Been around. FOMO won our European predictions. If you're at the league that we had with James, FOMO won it, but also made his transfer already. Saka to Odegaard.
Interesting.
Do you want to give advice?
What was your game week? What was your game week rank again, mate?
Mine 130k roughly.
That's got to be your best one this year. Yeah.
Second best. And when the game week captain Bruno Fernandes, I broke the top 100,000. But yeah, second best for the game week. So a pretty decent one. We won't touch on the fixture ticker too long because I appreciate we touched on it last week as well. But just thought it's always worth bringing it up. And the reason I thought it was worth bringing it up, mate, is a lot of the players we're going to talk about play for teams that are near the top of the ticker. So Palace right on the top with those fixtures, players that we'll be touching on there. Not to give the game away too much, but maybe Saar might come up in our comparison. Liverpool on there, City, Southampton, and Fulham make up the top 5. Newcastle, Brighton, Chelsea, Man United, and Spurs make up the top 10. When it comes to this sort of stuff, mate, like Saka's injured, Cunha's about to get a ban. Where do you start? It's the first thing you look at, right? Let's look at the fixtures, see who's got the fixture list in their favour, and then see who is in form for those teams.
Yeah, exactly that. I think it's I think for some of the players as well, it's been quite a convenient exit point. I think Saka for a lot of people would have been a long-term hold. But the fixtures do turn mixed for Arsenal now, right? So I think the last 3 or 4 were the chance to make hay, right? That was the chance for him to get the real horse. And the same goes for Cunha. And Cunha's actually converted the last 5-6 game weeks. Like he's really overperformed. He's had easy fixtures. You're going to get like exit points now. So I think, there's 2 players there that there's a fixture swing, but they're also injured or getting their imminent ban. And natural place to look at is like, where are their players with good fixtures for the medium term, right?
Yeah.
So Palace, Liverpool, all these names you got on the ticker here. I'm presuming this is not weighted by attacking versus defensive, right? This is just like
general 6 week data, but just in
general. I haven't used the players yet. These are the teams, like players from like Palace, Liverpool, City, maybe not because of the price point and form. Southampton again, maybe not, but Fulham, Newcastle, Brighton, Chelsea, United, Spurs. Yeah, that's a good list. That's your short list of players to target, right?
Yeah, and that's what we'll do next. Salah, hold on to your hat, my friend. Just want to touch. FOMO's getting worried. I'm getting too many points. I am coming for you, pal. But move on to Saka replacements. Now, a couple of things I just want to jump on. We've split this into 2 screens. Well, 3 screens, actually. This is the higher price players. So 4 that we've picked out. We'll touch on a couple of others, maybe some Liverpool, maybe but some Man City. And then the next screen is looking at the cheap ones, so under £6 million midfielders, in case you want to bring back some budget and spend it elsewhere. Final screen we'll touch on is the expected points from midfielders over the next 6 game weeks. But some people might be questioning, why is it Son and not Kulusevski? Because Kulusevski, when you watch Tottenham, seems to be the one making all the right moves. He's getting goals. He's getting assists. Now, there's a reason. Now, he might be £3.5 million cheaper, but Saka is the 3rd most expensive midfielder in the game. I think, would you agree, mate? If you haven't got Palmer and Salah, that's who you sell Saka for, right? We're ignoring them because we assume everybody's got them.
In isolation, like Son's got that pedigree and is on pens, right? But obviously the price, what's Kulusevski? 6.8?
6.3.
Wow, okay. Very cheap. So that can upgrade your team significantly elsewhere. So I think it's I would say I'll give you come at a 3, mate. Obviously because of your design, I know a lot of effort went into the design here. It's looking great. But if you were to add 3 other players onto this, Who'd you add?
I wouldn't be Kulusevski, right? I'm going to compare him and Son, right?
Hmm.
Expected goal involvement over the last 6 game weeks. Son 5.18.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Kulusevski, really?
Okay.
Kulusevski 2. Exactly this. This
Wow,
shocked me.
Wow.
Kulusevski 2.23.
Yeah.
Expected points for Son 32.94. Kulusevski 21.01. Expected goal involvement per 90 minutes. Son's over 1.16. Kulusevski 0.44. So he's massively overperforming, by the way, because he's got over 40 points from expected points of 21.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised because Son has been, as you've got here, expected points 33, actual points 32. But yeah, Kulusevski, as you said, is massively overperforming. I'm surprised by that. I thought Kulusevski or even Brennan Johnson would be like outperforming him just based on the actual points. But if I was to add 3 players, it would have been Kulusevski or a Johnson, right?
Yeah,
I view them as interchangeable. And Eze.
Yeah.
I'm out of 4 actually, and Eze. Just because you saw Palace there, and he's on pens and set pieces and whatnot. Good price point as well. Diaz.
Yeah.
Or Jota.
Big Louis.
I don't like it, but you might as well put it in for the price point and fixtures. Foden.
Yeah. Well, I've got notes on Foden, Diaz, and Jota.
That's 5 players from 3 teams, but I'd extend this. I think you got the right players here, that are like the valid options. But I reckon, Foden, Diaz, or Jota, Kulusevski, or Johnson are like equally should be considered.
Yeah, absolutely. But as I say, mate, I'm going to hold us to account. We're going to touch on them, but at the end, we're picking one and one only each. I mean, you've done your transfers. You probably know your answer. A little bit might be team dependent. But of the ones on the screen, looking at the fixtures and how they've been performing. So you mentioned the first thing you do is look at the fixture ticker, then you look at the form. Of these 4, who's really catching your eye?
So you got Son, Bowen, Fernandez, and Ødegaard. Predicted points: 20.6 for Son, 17.8 for Bowen, 16.6 for Fernandez, and then 18.2 for Ødegaard. Tough. Who would you go for?
I loved it. I've never ever considered Son, if I'm honest. But that expected goal involvement per 90 of 1.16 shocked me. He's clearly doing a lot more than I thought he was. Remind me, but did Tottenham had a penalty when Son and Solanke have both been on the pitch? They have, haven't they? And Son took it.
I think Son, yeah.
Right, so he's a pen taker. The downside to him is that Forest and Arsenal away in the next 4. I don't mind the Wolves and Newcastle at home. I think I know Newcastle have just got a clean sheet away from home, but I think Tottenham can score quite comfortably in those games. They are the second top scorers in the division behind Liverpool, I believe, if not first. So out of those picks, I'm swinging towards Son or Bruno Fernandes. They'll be the 2. But again, I said I'd pick one and one only. For my particular team, Fernandes allows me to get to Jackson, so I could swing that way.
Yeah, would you say Son is worth 1.4 more than Fernandes?
Yes,
Okay.
I would.
Okay.
Mainly because he's ahead on expected goals and unexpected assists by a fair distance.
I'd go.
But you're the expert.
I'd go. The thing is, no one's got a great fixture run. I know you put the next 4 to make it like a little bit more right in front of us, right? Obviously, like if you spread it between 6 to 10 game weeks, it gets a bit more clear. But no one's got a great run. It's mixed for all of them, right?
Yeah.
I'll probably go with Fernandez, Ødegaard, Bowen, and Son. Considering the price point.
Yeah, purely on the price.
Yeah, I don't think it's so clear cut for 1.5 difference, given that's like a huge. You can make a huge difference between that. Like that's what João Pedro to Solanke. That's loads of defenders to Trent, right? I think that you can make that money work, right? So, yeah, I think Odegaard's on penalties now as well, right? So I think that's a factor.
Good point.
That's a factor.
Good point. Is that why you got on FOMO for the pens? Maybe. Cool.
And it's expected points have been high, isn't it? Yeah, I'd go just Fernandez, Odegaard, and then Gap, Bowen, Son.
Yeah. Well, good time in this from Mr. Twister, by the way. He's just thrown in a comment about Liverpool and Liverpool's attack. Well, as we have touched on these four, so your one's Fernandez. That's the one you'd go for. We have noted that there's a couple that were missing from this bracket. So we will touch on Liverpool, Mr. Twister. So hang fire for that. But City, right? City have fixtures. As we touched on this screen, who have they got next? Everton, Leicester, West Ham, Brentford and Ipswich in their next 5. Problem I've got with City, minutes, right? Over the last 6 game weeks, only 2 of those players have played over 50% of the minutes in the midfield. One of them being Foden. And for 9.1 million, has an expected goal involvement per 90 of 0.43. And only Silva has played all the minutes, and his is 0.37. Is there any argument you can give at all for bringing in a City midfielder?
Well, I made that bet on Foden early in the year, right, when they were just about dropping off from a good start. Foden is a dreadful FPL player. Like last year, he was just like so lucky. So that price point, no way. All these options are better. I think to Twister's point, like I think as we were saying earlier, behind you put these players because they were like I think the obvious ones, but I think there is the Liverpool players, like the trio that have been mentioned, Gakpo, Jota and Diaz, and then you've got the other Spurs players to consider as well. Plus probably Eze. Yeah, I'd be honest. I'd far prefer any of these guys and any of the Liverpool players. And I think the Liverpool players. So, I mean, it'd be good to get your view. I'd be waiting a week on the Liverpool players just to see what happens. Right? Who knows what happens with injuries? Who knows around with performances and whatnot? I think Jota would be the one. If it looks like he's going to start starting, for sure.
Yeah.
But obviously he's had 19 minutes, 22 minutes. Does he start on Boxing Day? Who knows? We'll see. Yeah. But if he's like a long-term, if it looks like he's going to start, he's performing when he comes on and is going to be the starter, I'd take Jota if it was like 3 and 4 starts. It's a good point. Would I take Diaz and Gakpo? Gakpo, no. Diaz... Yeah, probably yes. I think for my own team, I've got a bit of flex that I've got Mbeumo. A lot of people got Mbeumo. I'm viewing a Liverpool player as a potential replacement for Mbeumo down the line.
Yeah,
but I'd like to see what happens. Like as we've seen, like stuff happens every week, right? So you can wait for more info. Yeah. Who knows if someone gets an injury or a ban? Who knows? I don't know. I would say no one's a clear option yet out of the 3. What would you say?
Well, I'm interested in Mr. Twister's thought there, right? So they're from a fixture ticker point of view, Palace are top, right? But Liverpool are second. Leicester, West Ham, Man United, Brentford, and Ipswich in their next. So I've made some notes, and I've left Gakpo out. Mr. Twister's just made the point. He's a forward. He's not a midfielder, so he can't be a Saka replacement. Diaz started 3 of the last 5. Expecting goal involvement in those last 6 games, 0.6. Got 2 against Tottenham, of course, but that's his first goals.
Per 90 or across the 5 games?
Across the 5 games, he only started 3 of them.
But you said 0.6, was that per 90 or was that?
Oh, sorry, per 90. Per 90, that's my bad. Per 90, yeah, 0.6 per 90. Szoboszlai started 4 of the 5, and he seems to be a little bit further forward. His expected goals involvement per 90, mate, in those games, 1.01. Okay. That shocked me. He's 6.3 million. But as a Liverpool fan and an FPL player, I don't think I trust Szoboszlai to keep that form up. He didn't do it last season. This is the first time he's really done it to that level this season. Whereas we've seen Diaz and Jota do it before. I think the pick out of the 3 midfielders is Jota, because he will be the starting number 9 when he's back to fitness. But it's how long will it take to get back to fitness?
I agree. Yeah, it's you're waiting the right moment for Jota, in my opinion. And for me, that's a convenient exit point for Mbumo, who I've got my team as a bit of a cash cow.
And I don't.
I wouldn't do it.
I don't have that luxury.
He's not going to start. He's not going to start on the. I don't think he's going to start on Boxing Day. Surely not.
It's so Gakpo was taken off on the 67th minute, so you're thinking he's probably taking him off to rest him. Diaz and Salah came off at the same time.
Injury, and a big injury, like 2 months, like 19 minutes, 22 minutes.
Yeah.
I'd be so shocked if he started on Boxing Day. So
I know. I'm with you, man. I agree with Mr. Twister. I think the Liverpool option, if there was a clear option to go alongside Salah, it'd be the pick. But it's just there's an absolute minutes risk with every single.
Nunes getting a little I don't know. He's carved his turkey. He's cut his finger a little bit. A couple of weeks out. A little minor injury. That would be perfect, wouldn't it?
Who you going for, Mr. Twister? Out of the four, who you putting your hat on? You can only have one of them, or three. Sorry, take Gakpo out of the equation. Diaz, Jota, Szoboszlai. Which one would you pick? Anybody else can answer that in the chat, by the way. Not just Mr. Twister. Feel free to fire it on. So you're going out of those, including the City, including Liverpool, based on guaranteed minutes, price points, pens, all that sort of stuff. You're on Fernandes. I'm leaning towards Son.
Yeah, I think
my team,
I think Fernandes and Odegaard are equal and equally better, but
yeah. But Son's too expensive for me to do what I want to with my front line. If I was picking one, I'd go for him. But for my personal team, I have to go elsewhere, and I'll come on to that in a bit. Thomas Jones is with us. I thought you couldn't make it, Thomas. Welcome, pal. Welcome to you. You've dropped off the top of the division, unfortunately. Harry Potter has drawn up some magic, and he's gone to the top of the league. Brand new entry in at number 1, but welcome to you. Mr. Twister's gone for Jota, still considering a triple up with Diaz. Liverpool are flying. Liverpool are absolutely flying. So not a bad move. I think Jota's the right call, by the way, Mr. Twister. If you can hold out a week or two until he starts getting the full minutes, off the bench.
Is that point? This week isn't the week to do the sensible. You're making a punt this week.
Yeah.
A week or two down the line, you're getting informed on what you want to do. Like Gakpo and Nunes haven't tore things up, have they? Since
not yet. Wait for it. We're going to win the league.
I don't think we're going to. Yeah, but Gakpo's never going to tear it up, is he?
No, he does for Holland in all of the majors. Fair play. But we'll touch on the cheaper options because there are so many of them. We thought they deserved their own space, their own separate conversation. The ones that are bought on the screen, again, looking at the fixture ticker, Palace are top. Sarr is absolutely flying.
Go back to the previous. Let's see how much better Sarr is compared to the previous. Wow.
Honestly, wow. The guy is flying. Absolutely flying. Expected points of 41, and to compare it to Son, he's 9 ahead of him. He's 7 ahead of
Fernandes with all his penalties. I'm 34. Okay, Sarr. No, I brought in Sarr, so I'm looking for reasons to justify Sarr.
Just justified, mate.
And look at justified. Easy.
That's it. Bournemouth, Southampton, Chelsea, Leicester. Expected goal involvement per 90 of 0.91 over the last 6 games. The guy is
Sarr's the best by if you're making a bet, Sarr's going to continue. He's the best by far. Palace look like they've improved the last couple of weeks. Coincidentally, since Sarr has been playing as the second striker, right? I don't think that's a thing. Sarr's a good player. I think a lot of us know Sarr from his Watford days. Like he's got a bit of FPL pedigree. When he plays, he does do well. And since he's been getting the regular starter, he's been doing very, very well. And Palace have been doing well. And the fixtures, I think, going back 3 pages, the fixtures for Palace are really good. So I think there's a lot to love around Sarr. Every other option I was looking at, there's doubts. I'm mad. It's like, are United good or are they bad? Somewhat mixed fixtures, and also he does have some good players that could come in. Like Rashford, I know there's the rumours he's leaving, but he could come in. Same with Garnacho, right? Who knows how they're going to set up? It's a team in transition, so there's a bit of doubt there, and there's also no pedigree. Enzo, again, it's a packed squad, right? Lots of players could come in for him. I think he's got more valid alternatives to him, right? Also, some games he's playing as a 10, some games he's playing as a midfield 3, right? Proper deep without any set pieces. And Iwobi's a nice player for sure, but Fulham's attacking stats have been weak.
Yeah, very. I think last week we showed they were third bottom for expected goal involvement.
So I was looking at this, and I was considering, like, you probably extend this as well. Obviously, 4 on the page that we thought was interesting, where we just like texting each other, but you extend it to include Kluivert, Semenyo.
Yep.
Obviously, assume everyone's got Rodgers as well, but there's some nice options, right? But like, I think Sarr, especially we can have a rotation when he's playing like the likes of Chelsea, I think is the standout at the moment. If you think he continues to play as the second striker for Palace. Though yeah. I'm actually I made the decision quite rash, but looking at those stats, I'm quite blown away.
Honestly, he's absolutely, the guy's flying. Jack agrees with you, by the way. Big capital letters from Jack. Sarr. And I forgot to say, by the way, Thomas has said Merry Christmas. He's popped in to say Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. For those that are listening, Thomas, when we get round to getting like badges and things, Matt, Thomas is going to get one that says Legend.
Badge?
Because he's
physical
and fully deserved. We'll send a physical badge to you, Thomas. Been with us since the start. And yeah, it's been a good support of the channel. So nice to see you, Thomas. Thanks for taking the time to drop in, pal. You mentioned Kluivert, a couple of other options that I've not put on the screen. Iwobi, by the way, for any midfielder 7 million and under, he is the top scoring midfielder so far, 81 points. But Fulham seem to have dropped off in terms of creating goals. So that's got to be taken into account. Kluivert, right? So Bournemouth's next 3. Palace at home, Fulham away, Everton at home. Expected goal per 90, 1.08. Now, granted, he's had 2 penalties in that time, but that is a cracking return.
No, I mean, penalties are part of the game, and like Bournemouth, the moment of an attacking team, right? So if you're getting a penalty taker who's starting the games, then it's a good bet. So I think the issue with Kluivert before was Tavernier, right? They're directly competing with each other. Tavernier is now injured, right? So the minutes for Kluivert, the last couple have been, he's played 75 minutes, he's played 80 minutes, he's played 69, whatever. Like he's been getting good minutes, right? So I think he's a good bet as long as and a better bet than Semenyo as long as Tavernier is out.
Yeah, absolutely. The other one, mate, the other one that's cheap, who has got over 1 unexpected goal involvements per 90 since he's been playing. I had him game week 1. Can you guess who it is? So, I mean, I appreciate that's a very hard question, but it's Jacob Murphy. The guy has got 1.26 expected goal involvement per 90, but his fixture run: Villa, United, Tottenham.
I mean, from an attacking point of view, I'm seeing two good fixtures. Well, three good, decent fixtures there. To be honest, like he's an attacker, and they're not going to keep a clean sheet.
By the way, but Chad's just called Murphy. Well done.
It's just that option of Barnes there, right? Barnes is a very good replacement. I mean, it's the same that goes to Ahmad. Like he's got Garnacho and Rashford. Sarr, I don't think there's a viable option at the moment, given that their form was so bad when they weren't playing him. They've miraculously improved since starting Sarr. Who's going to play instead of him? Nketiah is not. It's going to be Nketiah or Mateta. Just in terms of that setup. So I think Ahmad's got direct replacements. The other guys not so much. So I think Sarr is clear looking at this, and I'm glad I didn't bring in Enzo last week.
Yeah, that's a call, by the way. Just to point out, Chad's gone for Odegaard for 1 week, and then he'll assess. And Ben clearly didn't listen to you, or wasn't with us 10 minutes ago, maybe, because he's going towards Foden, who I think, to quote in Mr. Matthew Cobb's former world number 1's direct quote, is a horrible FPL asset to own.
It's like a famous Christmas song, isn't it? Once bitten, twice shy.
Yeah, that's true. Doesn't help that you benched him for his hat-trick last season.
Last season he was a nightmare. When I owned him and didn't own him, and then this season when I've owned him, he's been like shit as well. So,
not the fixtures, but yeah.
If you own short term, Odegaard for me, like longer term Fernandez, if you're looking at that price bracket. But
Yeah.
It's got
If
the
not, you're going
upside.
Saar.
It's got the upside, but you're punting in you.
Yes. Yeah. But you're going. But Saar's the standout in this cheap price bracket.
I think so. I mean, I did it the other night because I was bored, so I went to Saar. But like seeing these numbers here reassures me a lot. Because always, like, I think the predicted points, these are from Fix, and they're always lagging for like players that are emerging. So like that's reassuring that he's like keeping equilibrium with someone like Iwobi, who's like a nailed on starter. But those expected points from the last 4,
flying, absolutely flying. Sorry, I wasn't laughing at you there, by the way, when I started giggling. I just noticed that Chad had put in there how many transfers. In fact, I'm going to bring it up, and you read this out how you read it out.
How many transfers?
What an ass! What an assmanship! I couldn't work it out. I've worked it out. I've worked it out now. It's so the assistant manager chip, right? You can obviously play that chip. You get it for 3 game weeks in a row, but it does cost budget, and you can transfer the manager in those 3 game weeks if you want to do so. I think we spoke about this 2 weeks ago, and your strategy is you pick one and you just stay with them.
Yeah, no for transfer. Sure. I think quite soon we're gonna like stop pissing around with like luxury transfers to like retain some. Like I've pissed around with transfers. You certainly have. Like Robin, into like you could have played Ada last week.
Stop rubbing it in.
So I think we got a few more weeks where we can just mess around a little bit. But like you want some banked like game week 21 onwards, just to like assess. But like the ass man chip. What's his counterpart?
Took me a minute.
What's the alternative to the arse man chip?
Good question. I can't come up with anything on the spot. I think we're staying. Ben's put in about United turning their form round with the new rat infestation. Did I see their ground was leaking again as well? But I think we'll stay away. But the last point I want to make on this particular screen is I was considering Enzo until I put this slide together. Right, so I was thinking I want a second Chelsea. I've got Sanchez, I've got Palmer. Their fixtures are great. I want a second Chelsea attacker. Looking at Enzo, he is massively overperforming. Expected goal and assists over the last 6 game weeks is 3.3, and he's got 6 of them, nearly double. He's massively outperforming.
I think if you look at the expected though, mate, they compare to those premium options or those semi-premium options in the previous page. So all these options, like, you've shared them because they compare nicely, right? So 33 for Son, 31 for Bowen, 35 for Fernandez, 30 for Ødegaard. Enzo's not doing bad considering the price difference, right?
Yeah. Fair point. I still think there's better. Saar's better, but yeah, I get your point.
No, but like he's performing well. Like that's not a bad expected return, and of course great actual return. Sorry, he's the cheapest option here. Probably outside it will be the most guaranteed to get minutes.
I still feel like I prefer Jackson as that third option in my Chelsea. How far ahead have you looked?
I agree. I agree with that. That's the problem with Enzo. He lost a third Chelsea option, which is probably Jackson. But I think consider a cheap option if that can unlock opportunities for your team. I think it's a conclusion here.
Yeah, exactly that. Expected. I was going to ask you how far you've looked ahead of the assistant manager chip. Ben's suggesting the optimal time to play is 31 to 33 with the rescheduled cup semi.
I think people who've got Haaland, they would go for that rearranged game, right?
Yeah.
They play whenever. So 31 to 33 aside, I haven't really considered that, but I think I'd say the benefit is definitely in people who captained Haaland earlier this year, who got his return against wasn't Southampton, was it? Ipswich, yeah.
It's Ipswich hat-trick, yeah.
Yeah. So I think everyone else is going to be forced to play triple captain on Salah for the Everton replay verse, and then whatever the other game week is. That's like a no-brainer, that small double game week. So I think that would be an option for people who've played the triple captain Haaland, is to play assistant manager when Liverpool got that double game week.
which still to be set, right? I believe still not coming.
But I think it's because it's like a one-off fixture. It'll be like a one-off game week where it'll be a small double game week, right? So you've got Liverpool playing Everton plus someone else. That's a decent little run for an assistant manager. But truth be told, I haven't really looked at it too much beyond, hey, after game week 21, 22, I need to start saving some free transfers to give me a bit of flex.
Yeah, got you. I think Ben Crellin's spreadsheet suggests it could be a game week where Liverpool play Leicester and Everton in the same thing. Mr. Twister's annoyed. Saka's injury has meant everybody's structure is going to pretty much match what he was doing, which was that mid-price mid plus Isaac plus Jackson. You probably heard me hinting, Mr. Twister. I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up with Jackson to complement Isaac up top as well coming up. But before we move on to potential Cunha replacements, here are the expected points for the midfielders over the next 6 game weeks. Again, I've removed Salah, I've removed Palmer. So if you're like, well, why aren't they on the list? That's why. It's just 10 million and below. Son's top of the shop, followed by De Bruyne, followed by Odegaard. Anybody jumping out with you, pal?
I'm surprised Bowen is higher than Fernandes. There's some value there for sure. But I don't mean it's like De Bruyne aside, let's ignore him given like minutes issues and City's issues and the big price point. I think it's the ones that you've mapped out, right? Son, Odegaard, Bowen, and Mbeumo we'd like consider, but you'd assume most people have him. Fernandes, yeah. And call out Iwobi, call out Sarr. So yeah.
Sarr, top 10 expected.
Yeah, and he's more short-term bet. Like short-term, he's better than Iwobi. My maths add up. Kind of equal. You're playing a bit of a punt. But yeah, I think obviously we like the previous 2 pages, mate. I think if like this validates it in terms of predicted points, spot on.
Yeah.
A point from Twister here is that like Saka is like ruined a bit of the structural edge, and like will it see like a new template emerge? I think the Saka injury actually will diversify outcomes and setups, right? Because we're discussing, no doubt on Friday, all the standard people will kind of like merge on the same decision because there is a bit of groupthink. Let's be honest, like people do seem to copy each other and decide on options. But I think that equal options for Odegaard versus Bruno. Some will be a bit of a random maverick one for some people, and some people will go for cheaper options. Whether that's Bowen, Sarr, Enzo, Iwobi. So I reckon it'll diversify a few options. To be honest, I think ownership of Isaac will be the net. A lot of people will get Isaac if they're going for a cheaper midfielder, myself included. I think there'll be a bit of a range of options, like because of the Saka injury. Because pretty much anyone serious who had Saka was like considering it. I would say, mate, I think I got Saka a week or 2 before you, and you got him in.
You did.
That's a good example of like decent decision based on like predicted points and shit like that. But like terrible outcome. I think since I got him, hasn't had a single return. Bruno Fernandes, who I got him rid of, has probably got 3 returns at that time. And then, of course, Saka's got injured as well. So like the people that held on for Fernandes, they're the ones like lucking out.
Yeah, that's it. I got him in a couple of weeks later than you, and I got away with points. He didn't really do anything. I got him in. There was a three fixture window where he had like Everton, Ipswich. Well, he's got Ipswich. Well, he's supposed to have Ipswich coming up, but Everton and somebody else where I'm like looking at it thinking this is the prime time. It was FOMO, to be honest with you, which is why I got him. But yeah,
but it made sense given the fixtures, and he's done it. He's done it in Europe as well, similar to like a Solanke type play. He's done it in Europe. I'm just looking at the chat, mate. A few things before we move on. Assistant manager, like a bit of a strategy. Use it near the end of the season if a team is fighting to stay up for their life. I agree. I think my immediate target is to look at teams that are like artificially low in where they're at, and like max for those the maximum returns where you beat a team that's 5 places or above for you. So that could be teams that are fighting for survival or have had a manager change or have just been very, very unlucky, right? So I think I gave the example of Chelsea last season where it was like they were so low down in the league, but it was artificial. They were just getting like very, very unlucky. So I agree with that. I think the caveat is obviously you can't cross over the assistant manager chip with another chip. So you need to make sure that it's landing around your plans of triple captaining and bench boosts and whatnot. Wildcard 18, I reckon on that one, just looking at Martial's point, I reckon on that one we come back to our own teams and our plans. So I reckon that will kind of indicate a little bit of kind of direction we're heading.
If you were playing, I mean, this is to put you on the spot, pal. So I'm not expecting you to go to riff off an entire 15 squad, right? But based on just for Martial, based on those fixtures, is there anybody that you automatically, if you were playing a wild card, would go, right, definitely I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you build around that?
I think the decision is Haaland or not, right? I would say not at this moment, given how he's performing recently and just the wider team just being in that slump. But you'd want 2 or 3 Liverpool players. I'd want probably Trent and Salah. I'd probably make a bet on a third. I'd be looking at 1 or 2 Palace players. I'd be considering Salah for sure, looking at that fixture run, but I'd be considering on a decent defender as well. Maybe a Henderson as your keeper. Fulham will be a staple. Isak would be a must-have, I think, given those fixtures and just like the quality of the player. Chelsea, you've got Palmer. I'd probably have Jackson at this time as well. Yeah, so I reckon you got your core. It's not too different from the current template, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean, the chance to make some ground is right, making the bet on the right Liverpool, the right 3 players from Liverpool, and maybe if you're making that bet of like Man City, you're going to get better.
Yeah, go early. Yeah, because that fixture on for City: Everton, Leicester, West Ham, Ipswich in the next 5.
Yeah, I mean, like
they did play around with it.
As bad they've been,
like, injury.
Who can they lose to up until 23?
Brentford away?
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I know what you mean. I did look at the potential to bring Haaland back in with the Saka injury, but it takes like 3 or 4 transfers and absolutely batters the rest of the team.
No, for sure.
Just made a note. It's surprised not to see Arsenal on the fixture ticker. So was I. I genuinely I've got the 2 Arsenal defenders for a reason. Thought they'd be there. And Martial. Why did you decide away from Haaland? Just be interesting to know. But that is the midfield piece. So just to clarify, your 1 for the expensive would be Fernandes. Your 1 for your low price would be Sarr. I am probably Son and Sarr. But you're the former world number 1. So if anybody's listening, listen to Matt, not me.
Well, you're 80K and I'm 960.
Yeah, there's 19 game weeks left, pal. 19 game weeks left. On to Cunha's replacements, or striker options is what I should really call it. We all know how long it's going to take, who knows? But he's getting banned, right? We all saw what he did to the Ipswich.
He's getting banned. Also his fixtures are turning as well, right? And he's quite expensive. He's quite expensive for a Wolves striker, and has been getting very, very lucky.
Has he got United home this week, and then it turns really ugly.
Yeah, United home, which I think is a mixed game. I wouldn't say it's a great game. So I think it's probably a chance he plays. But looking at this, let's assume Haaland's like a case on his own, right? Because like he's so far ahead, but also at least twice as much as most of the players. So we'll ignore Haaland for a time. So I think that's very team dependent whether you want him. But yeah, Isak at this stage seems an absolute no-brainer given his price point, his form, his returns. Yeah, it's interesting looking at the rest.
Tough, it is. It's a tough one.
I'm surprised. This is the fixed predictions, right? I'm guessing. So
it is. Yeah.
Wood is higher than I would rate him. I would say I'd have Jackson and Solanke above him. I'd have Mateta a little bit lower. Yeah.
This is it. I find picking a striker so difficult.
No, it's tough now. Like price points are just like merged. So I think Isak, given price point, fixtures, form, is the standout at the moment. 100%. Like more Harley, who will be the best kind of one regardless, but like he's just so expensive. Thereafter, I think there's a group of players who are somewhat similar. I'd say Jackson's in there, Solanke's in there.
Yeah.
Watkins is in there, but was obviously in and out the team. That's why he's in this group and not ahead. And then I won't put Wood so high. So I'm kind of interested in that kind of little Wood one.
Yeah. So I depending on how I go, I might end up buying Wood, if I'm honest, right?
Do you have the guarantee of the benefit of going on him? Because like obviously this week, like this time last week coming into last game week, we were like Jimenez was probably the best option. But he's got a valid competitor in like Muniz, who started.
He did.
So you really, if you're starting this play, you really want someone who's just going to be nailed for minutes, right? So that's the benefit of someone like Wood, right?
Yeah, guaranteed. He started every game bar one this season. And his fixtures, mate. So he's got Tottenham at home, who concede. They concede goals. I know they score goals, but they concede. It's then followed by Everton, Wolves, Liverpool, which isn't great, but let's just remind ourselves that Forest are the only team to beat them this season. But it's Tottenham, Everton, Wolves, Liverpool, Southampton, Bournemouth, Brighton. They are games Forest or Wood can get goals.
Yeah, Wood did that. Yeah. I like Wood based on that. I didn't see his fixture run.
Yeah, it's just for me. It's Cunha to Wood because he's cheaper, so I can afford it straight off the bat. But if I save money on Saka, I prefer Jackson. Outside to Jackson, 4 yellow cards. How long's he got to wait? Is it game week 20 that goes back to? He needs to then get to 10, if I'm not mistaken. So he's got to dodge 2 yellows.
I'd go give the price point. So I think I'd go Wood
over Jackson. Just for Jackson's fixtures, Fulham at home, then Ipswich, past Bournemouth, which I like a lot. But other than them two, mate, other than Wood and Jackson, I've got Isak already, obviously, and I can't afford Haaland without destroying the squad. I've got no interest in anybody else on that list.
No, for sure. I think Solanke as an owner, I wouldn't be recommending him giving the price point over someone like Wood. He's been frustrating. Like always promises a lot, but doesn't really give much back. And yeah, as Chad Scott has said, a lot of people have got João Pedro, but Brighton have been since Welbeck's been out super disappointed. João Pedro has been playing as a left back a lot of games. Chasing mad. I know, like last 2 game weeks, we text each other watching the games, and it's like, wow, why is their best player
playing at left back?
Playing at left back, starting the moves, right? So
the goal scorer. I'm just seeing FPL FOMO's comment about he's going Cunha to Jackson, which is it's either him or Wood for me, and that's it. That means he's going to end up with Isak, Pedro, and Jackson, which will be the exact 3 strikers I'll end up with, and he's ahead of me in the league.
I think that's the new. I think that's the new template. Will be Isak. Isak, someone probably Jackson or Solanke and Pedro. That's going to be the new template of people playing like sensible for sure.
I can see it. You can see it. The bad news for me is I need to do a -4 to get there. Spoilers. But if you're picking one, mate, I know you've done it already, so you might want to wait. But you're selling Cunha. Who you getting?
Well, I don't have Isak, so it's a no-brainer, right? Isak.
Yeah. So if you do have Isak, who's number 2?
I'd probably keep Cunha for United because he's probably going to play, right? When's it going to be announced? The FA guys have been like off on holiday for like days now, aren't they? So probably hold him. But Wood. Looking at this.
Well, Wood is second, so I'm glad that he's up there because he's one of my picks. But before we move on, I was about to, but Twister's put in a very interesting comment about Gabriel Jesus. Now he's under £7 million. In fact, I think he's the same price as I can sell Cunha for, 6.8 million. Now I don't like Jesus as a pick beyond one game week, right? What are your thoughts on him?
Okay, so Saka's out. He's going to play right wing in his absence. Is it?
Yeah. It's also
Trossard maybe.
So yeah, which I get. I completely get the Trossard pick because he came on for Saka.
It's literally like kind of it's a minutes corner. If you're confident in his minutes, I think he's probably the best option for sure. Whether that's playing right wing or as the actual striker, but I think he's still competing over two positions, right? Saka and the striker with Havertz and Trossard. So it's that minutes play. I think if you're confident in minutes, he's probably the best one.
Short term. He started, should I say, 3 Premier League games all season, which is what puts me off him massively. And somebody asked, it was Mr. Twister as well, about Arsenal not being on the fixture ticker. To Chad's question before I finish, that Twitter point, Sterling is still injured. Yeah, he's actually, Arteta's come out today saying it's a longer term thing. Same with Saka, probably not available until February. But for Mr. Twitter's point, why aren't Arsenal on the fixture? So they've got Ipswich next, right? And Jesus could bang a hat-trick in that game, and I wouldn't be surprised. Following that, Brentford away, Brighton away, Tottenham at home, Villa at home. Then City at home 2 games after that. They are not great fixtures, I don't believe.
Attacking is okay though.
I mean, the thing is, Arsenal quite regularly get 4 or 5 in a game, right? So they can put goals past Brighton and Brentford, and definitely Tottenham. Yeah, Liverpool can put 6 past Tottenham. I'm sure Arsenal can.
I mean, my style is to be cautious, right? So I'd be favouring a Wood, an Isak, a Jackson over Jesus. I'm not bold like that.
Yeah, for me, he's a 1 week guy. Martial has got Jesus, Isak, and Wood as the front 3.
No, nice.
Like it for this game week, especially. Some nice fixtures for all.
I suppose like Isak and Wood are the guys you want, and then it's like a bit of a question of like who the third is.
Yeah, Jackson. All about Jackson. That's where I'm going. So again, I put it on you for the midfielders point. I'm going to put it on for your strikers point. Isak's your number 1, you said, and Wood's your number 2.
Yeah, I think so. Now, what we're saying, we've got Solanke, Havertz, Jackson, and Jesus as a third. I say Jackson.
Jackson, number 3. I think I put the same 3, mates. I think that's who I may end up with eventually. But Pedro, I can't take a 4-point hit to move Pedro to a Wood. Can't do it.
I'd rate Jackson as the best of those like mid-price ones. Jackson, then probably Solanke. Just he plays every 90 minutes.
Yeah, and they get goals.
Then it's whichever Arsenal striker.
Captain pick. This will be very quick, pal, because I put the stats together. The guy's owned by about 75% of the game, and he is miles ahead on the expected points, and for good reason. The guy has got, in 17 or 16 games that he's played, he's returned in all but 2 and has double digits in 14. Unbelievable form. Mohamed Salah has more than 10 goals and 10 assists, and it's not even Christmas, by the way, in the Premier League this season. 10.3 expected points, playing against a Leicester team who concede away from home. Expected goals conceded per 90 of 2.25. Is there any other option than Salah this week?
No. That's probably one of the highest expected points we've seen as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got to be up there with like Haaland versus like Ipswich and Haaland against Southampton. That's super impressive. But yeah, like he's been on fire. I think that performance against Spurs was just like exceptional, right?
Yeah.
Like Like I know
more.
expected points and expected goals and assists, like versus like what you see in the actual game is like was a bit subjective, but like there were just chances he was put on people on the plate for people like that.
Yeah.
Assist for Diaz when he like tried to lob the keeper.
Chipped it onto the bar.
That was just such a great attempted assist, right? Where you just like one like from a really deep position, just like on a plate. Yeah, he's on fire. So yeah, it's Salah, isn't it?
Salah.
Do you reckon anyone still playing the game doesn't have Salah?
So yeah, I'm in a league. I'm not trying to name drop here, but I'm in a league with somebody called Vicky Sparks, who's a BBC commentator. Right? She doesn't have him. Doesn't have him. She's a Tottenham fan, and she's got a few Tottenham players, but no Mohamed Salah. She was top of the division until probably about 4 weeks ago, and now she's 8th, and it's purely lack of Salah. Everybody's captaining him. She doesn't have him. So she's fell off. Yeah, but Mr. Twister's, I think you must have played your triple captain, I assume, Twister on Haaland near the beginning of the season. Doesn't look like you have that chip anymore, but double hat-trick. Would it surprise me if Salah scored 6 against Leicester? Potentially. I think the most of the game's 5, right? And a few players have got it. But you know what? If anybody can break these records, it's Mohamed Salah. The guy is probably the
Danny
best
Ward, if he's
player in the
playing
league.
keeper again, like he's so bad. He's such a bad keeper, right? I think he played like last week.
But he's former Liverpool. Used to be the keeper. He used to play for Liverpool, so maybe he's going to.
So bad. He's so bad. But like triple captain, like people that still want to. You're targeting that like Everton plus whatever game week.
Yeah, doubles.
Like you're not doing like you'd be foolish not to do that. But like, yeah, Salah's the captain and Palmer's the vice.
Yeah, there you go. I'm glad you've answered Marshall's chat. Who's asking who the vice is?
I was going to say, like, I mean, assume not many active players have Haaland anymore. There's a conversation state he's at. But I think anyone sensible is probably going to go captain Salah, vice Palmer.
And if you don't have Salah, you captain Palmer. Straight, simple as that.
Oh, you bring in Salah.
Yeah. Salah.
Saka, presumably.
Oh well, yeah. If you don't have him already, I'm going to tell Vicky that when although I never speak to her, I don't know her. She's just in my league. But Danny Ward, you're speaking like he's Welsh, right? You're not fancying for the Wales keeper?
He's so bad.
Well, FOMO's going to start him from the looks of the chat. Just bring that up. FOMO's going to get him. Going to play him. You could get some save points from that FOMO. Not that I'm trying to catch you up in our league or anything, but yeah, I'd fully recommend it.
There's a little bet that you and I liked a few years ago that, like, for those that like it, Salah more than 2 shots on target.
Evens.
Unless the game screams out.
Yeah, it's hopefully Sky do it again. Bowen has Southampton. Would he be? I'm assuming you're still picking Salah and Palmer.
Yeah.
There you go. On to Matt versus Dave. And I want everybody in chat, by the way, to have a look. This is not easy. So just for those that are new to us, me and Matt pick 2 players each game week that are 5% owned or less. We combine their points, see who gets the highest total, and then that person wins the week. The person who wins at the end of the season gets all of the glory, and the person that loses has to captain a defender in any chosen game week of the following season that the other person picks. I lost last season, unfortunately for me, which means in game week 19, as it was Matt's pick, I need to captain a defender. So that's coming up. That is very soon.
I want to say pure to the original mission of Top Journey's Top 10K. I don't want to compromise you.
I don't want to compromise, and it might compromise me.
We'll come up with another forfeit. We'll come up with another forfeit if you're still looking good. But you're looking good now.
We'll see how I do this week. But put in the chat who your differentials will be. Again, less than 5% owned. Looking at last game week, Matt went for Iwobi, who got 3 points thanks to a clean sheet, and Gakpo, who unfortunately got booked and didn't see a return, so only 1 point for him, 4 points total. I went for Højlund, who only got 1 point as well. I think he was sub before 60, if I'm not mistaken, or he might have got booked. And then Bruno Guimaraes, who got an assist and a bonus point, as well as a clean sheet point, taking him to 8 7 points, giving me 8 overall. So I pulled it back. It was 7-4. I pulled it back to 7-6. And I get to go first for game week 18 pick.
This is probably the most significant week to get the first pick.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. And Twister, you are going to be happy, my friend. You are going to be very happy because there's a certain Arsenal striker who has scored 5 goals in his last 2 games, and he's only 3% owned. Probably going to start against Ipswich at home. So pick number 1, Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah, well done, mate. Not bitter at all. So I'm going to go for the worst Jesus-esque pick. So yeah, I'll go Trossard or Martinelli. I'll go Martinelli. I think it's 3%.
Martinelli.
Yeah.
Martinelli. Okay. So still Arsenal, still against, same team.
Yeah.
He got a goal. He got a goal against Palace. I give him a little run. So it's Arsenal Liverpool, I feel like you've got a target, right? Liverpool are home to Leicester. It's getting that starter right. And I agree with you. I think this isn't the week Jota starts. So I'm hoping Slot took off Gakpo in the 67th minute to give him a bit of a rest, as Liverpool were 4-1 up, I believe, at that time, to give him a rest ahead of the game against Leicester. As a result, I'm going to pick Gakpo. He seems to be a staple for us this season.
Okay. No, I get it. I reckon he'll start. I'm going to go again. Probably the lesser option of Liverpool attackers. I'm going to go for the Slaughter. I'll go for Jota.
Slaughter the Jota.
Let's see if
Thomas Jones' team.
Let's see if he starts. But I think if he comes on the sub, he's probably got a better chance to get a return than Gakpo.
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't do a lot.
He does. He changes the theme.
Too much, does he?
No, he does all right. Gakpo. He gets the goal. He might get an assist. But Jota changes things completely.
Yeah.
Even in the games he's come on, you can see how much he fights and wins the ball high up.
No, for sure. I've got to pick a player from those 2 fixtures, like you said. Arsenal and Liverpool looking like prime fixtures that they're playing. You got better picks, right? So I'll give you.
I feel like
congratulations in advance.
I feel like Jesus might win it on his own for this game week. But yeah, Martinelli and Jota for you, Jesus and Gakpo for me.
He might beat our last combined scores for the last 3 weeks by himself.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially. I'm hopeful because then it'll be back to 7-7. But yeah, I won't be picking Jesus again. It could probably because if he does smash a hat trick this game week, he'll be over 5%. But moving on swiftly to your game week 18 reveal, my friend.
Okay, so yeah, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So I jump straight to my moves. You put them as thoughts, but they've been made.
Yeah.
I had 3 transfers coming in, made the 3 transfers. I moved Greaves to Trent, Saka to Sarr, Cunha to Isak, right? So yeah, made all those transfers. I think Saka being injured was a great opportunity to redistribute my funds, reassess the structure of my team. I think it's looking good. So Fabianski away to Southampton in goals, Saliba and Gabriel home to Ipswich in defence, and I really didn't want to move Saliba to someone to a Trent, right? Because I think Arsenal, they've got some clean sheets in them the next couple of game weeks. Brought in Trent for Leicester at home, which is a great entry point in my opinion. He's been looking very, very good, and Liverpool got a great run for the next 10 plus game weeks, right? I moved out Greaves instead of Vandenberg because Greaves looks like he's been dropped. He's been on the bench, and it looks like his price point is going to drop from 4 to 3.9. So it's a cash saving opportunity. Midfield Palmer at Fulham and Boomer away to Brighton. Salah captain at Leicester, Sarr away to Bournemouth, up front, Solanke away to Forest, João Pedro home to Brentford, and Isak home to Villa. And then bench of Rodgers, Colwell, Vandenberg, and Flecken as well. So my team looks pretty solid now. I think the other choice I had was the more obvious move, which I think a lot of managers would do, which was injured Saka to an Ødegaard or a Bruno Fernandes, and then with those funds, I think I could have just about afforded a Trent or I could have afforded Trent for Saliba for sure, and I could have probably afforded a Isak as well. I just want to make the 3 because I think it makes my shape and my structure of my team a lot better moving forward. And really, what I'm going to look at moving forward now is I've got Rodgers, Colwill from Chelsea, João Pedro, and Sarr as like that rotating. What's that? 4 players to see like the best of 2 going forward. So some games I'll play 4-4-2, and I'll be quite happy with that. So yeah, I don't know if it'll be optimal according to like algorithms and models. They probably would have said, "Hey, bring in." They might have said Mbumo and Saka to a Fernandez and a Odegaard. But I like my team now. I like my teammate. I just needed Isak. He's killing me every game week, and he's a player I wanted for a few game weeks. I've teased with him, so now is the perfect opportunity. So I just made that move to bring him in. And I think Trent felt like, why not? This is a great entry point for him.
I'm jealous of Trent. I'd love to have Trent this week, and you'll see why I want to bring up my team. But just to touch on Matt versus Dave, I think Marshall and Twister are on your side, pal. They think Jota's going to get the start. And as a Liverpool fan, I hope he does, because he's, no offense if Gakpo's listening, I'm sure he is. Gakpo listens every week. Jota's better. So I hope Jota does play. Diaz is on the left. That's what I like as a Liverpool
he's not
fan.
a great player, Gakpo.
I mean, I feel like you're being a bit harsh. I don't
the guy.
Oh, Matt's gone. Where the hell did he go? I think he must have clicked an X. But yeah, I'd like Jota to start getting some minutes under his belt. He's my number 9 every day of the week, as and when he's fit. Saka return. That'll be a question that I will ask Twister just when Matt gets back online. I'm sure he'll be joining us very shortly again. But Saka is a question I'll throw at him. Is there an easy way back? Because you're right, man. I'm looking at it. There he is. We'll ask him directly himself. Hello.
Hello.
Pal.
It was a mic drop.
No, what it was. Gakpo cancelled your house after slagging him off. Twister has asked a question about an easy route back to Saka. Is that something you're considering?
He's not going to be a viable option until February, right? So don't worry about it.
You mentioned you're building some transfers in anyway.
You've got 5 or 6 game weeks to worry about Saka. And to be honest, Saka hasn't been blowing it up, has he? Like both in terms of underlying stats and output. So I'm not going to. I think I saw the latest on Sky Sport News, and it was like he's going to be out for multiple weeks, right? So multiple weeks now means it's the end of December, so it'll be Jan. It's going to be Feb before he's like fit, right? And when we look at game weeks, it's going to be like 4 or 5. So he's easily accessible, right, from any players that most teams have got. If you got 2 free transfers, so I'm not going to worry about
that. To quote Arteta, it's not looking good. He's going to be out for many weeks. So even if he's out for 10 days, he misses 3 game weeks. So you're assuming, yeah, as you say, he's missing 5
like, based on what they said to me and like what we see on crutches and stuff like that, nature of injury, it's going to be until Feb, right? Which is like 6 game weeks.
Yeah.
So
worry about it when he's closer to the time. No, I get it.
Exactly.
I like your team, man. I like your team. As I say, I'm jealous of Trent. Don't have Trent. Based on those
Sar's looking a bit.
Well, based on those stats we just showed up, I'm fairly jealous of Sarr. I could get Sarr in for Saka mines. I can cover that. I don't think I'm going to I'm not bringing in Trent this week. I'll be taking a -4 to bring in a defender if I get Trent, which I never like doing.
I mean, looking at my team as well, it's quite nice. I can probably exit Mbumo if I want to. Brighton away is not a bad fixture. Obviously, Mbumo can do well against anyone. I can exit him next game to a Jota or a Diaz. So I like the structure. I think I regret bringing in Colwill, like for many reasons, like 2 game weeks ago. But I think it was a sensible opinion. But it's got some nice flex and like a better balance now. Isak being in was the main issue. He's into my team now, so I'm happy with it.
No, I like it a lot.
It's done. It's done. I wasn't chasing price rises. I was just bored. I was like, I'll just make the move. It looks nice on the screen as well, doesn't it? But it's done.
It does, and I think Mbumo, you mentioned going to Diaz. I was mentioning whilst you were off. I think with Martial and Twister, Jota is the best number 9 Liverpool have, and he's a midfielder, so it could be that you end up going there. See, time will tell.
Spot on, mate.
Onto my team. So I've not done my transfer yet. I've only got one. The issues I've got.
What would you have done if you didn't waste that move on Robinson?
Well, yeah, I'd have 2 free transfers and I'd have 0.5 million still sat in the bank. So,
Trent.
Saka. Well, I'd have to remove Saka, and then I'd have waited on the Cunha news. And if he ends up being banned this week, then obviously that's the move. If not, might have rolled it. Might have made a defensive transfer. I don't know. But yeah, it feels painful. It's the only reason I'm playing Robinson, by the way, because I've bought him in. It's the only reason he's
the issues are bring him in as well, and you know Cunha was going to have a ban imminently.
Yeah, it's coming. But I was chasing points. I know I was chasing points. But I'm happy with the vast majority of that starting 11. Yeah, chasing points, and he got 6. In all fairness to him, unfortunately, he only got 15. But I'm with 10 of the 11 and happy. Sanchez and goal at home to Fulham, happy. Gabriel Saliba in defence at home to Ipswich, happy. Palmer, Saka, Semenyo and Salah across the midfield, all home games. Fulham, Ipswich, Crystal Palace and Leicester in that order. Again, Salah is my captain, no brainer there. I say I'm happy with Saka. Obviously not because I need to sell him, which I'll come on to. Would have been happy with it. And I would have rolled this week as my point if that injury hadn't happened. And then Isak, Cunha and Pedro at home to Villa, Man United and Brentford. The only one I'm not happy with, obviously, Saka injury noted on. Robinson away at Chelsea, not great. I expect him to concede. Reason I'm playing him over Aina at home to Tottenham. Mentioned before, Tottenham are the second top scorers in the division, I believe. So I expect them probably to score. And Robinson's, I believe, has a better attack. And he's got 3. In fact, I've looked it up. Expected goal involvement per 90. Robinson is 3 times higher than Aina. So that's the reason Robinson's on the pitch. I've got 2 options. Saka needs to go. I don't mind Cunha at home. If Cunha isn't banned this week, I'll leave him. And I'll move Saka and I'll move Saka only. So I'm looking at Saka 2. I need to take the Cunha transfer into account, right? Because I prefer Jackson to Wood, which is why I don't have Saka to Son as one of my options, even though that's where I'd go if he had unlimited funds. Yeah, I really like Jota. As much as I didn't pick Jota, I really like him as an option. But it's like game week 19 onwards.
I don't think Cunha's going to be banned because it would have been announced it's going to be announced. If it's not announced tomorrow, it's not going to be announced, right? Everyone's off. The FA is off, right? They're not going to announce something on Christmas Eve, right? Yeah. They're playing Boxing Day, presumably.
Yeah, playing. Good question. I'll look that up.
But I'm going to assume they're going to play the 26th. Like the FA, just knowing the type of people that run that organisation, they're not going to be announcing a ban late on Boxing.
Yeah, I'll play the 26th.
Yeah. So he's going to play. It's not being announced, right? So he's going to play, which is a good bet. That's an okay fixture. And Cunha is finding returns. So assume he's playing. What would you do with Saka? And also, could you play Rodgers? Because obviously I'm looking at your Saka replacement options, and it's quite wild in who you could pick. Like in terms of there's some big names, some lower pick players as well. You could just play Rodgers and just see what happens.
Could. I like to chase points. Maybe that's my problem.
No, play Rodgers. That's chasing points in it. You got 14.
Yeah. I don't.
That's first game week. First game week then. We'll come in game week 19. We'll have a view of is Cunha banned or not? Who do I want for him? Now you have a better view of like who's the best option to play Saka with, and like the Liverpool players, who's starting, who's injured, who's not. I don't.
I do get that.
Your team, I'd probably play Rodgers, mate.
You'd roll it and play Rodgers.
Yeah. Because if you're doing the two, you'd probably do it now. You'd do like Jackson in and then like a Sarr or Enzo in, but like that's for a -4. That's not worth it. I'd play Rodgers. Cunha, let's assume he's playing because like I can't think if there's a ban not tomorrow morning, he's not going to get banned. Surely not. I'm not going to play him.
I wouldn't think so.
Because he's their best player. They don't want to do a Christmas Day ban, are they?
You'd hope not. What a Christmas present that'd be for Cunha. If that happens. I'm going to sit on it till Boxing Day regardless, mate. I won't be making my transfers until Boxing Day morning.
Yeah, I'd sit on it and I'd probably be tempted to roll. Cunha's finally at Man United. Probably as good as would against Spurs away.
Yeah. I don't mind Cunha. I don't mind playing Cunha at all if he's not banned.
But like, I think they're linked though, right? You need to know what you're going to do with Saka to know what you're going to do with Cunha.
You know what I'm going to do with Cunha. Yeah, get that. Completely get that. And Twister's made a point about Saka dropping in price, and that is a concern for me, Twister, to be fair. But I'm in a good position with Saka's price. I bought him at 10.6, and he hasn't moved since. So granted, I could sell him at 10.6, and then if I bought him back, I'll have made some money on him. But I could pretty much afford anybody.
I don't think you're making the -4 back. I know you've done a few hits recently in this Bro and Isaac, the great games. Cunha versus Jackson Wood, you're not like looking at expected points. You're not making that back, surely, no?
No. I know what I know now, pal.
What would your Saka move be in isolation? No.
In isolation, I would gamble on a Liverpool player. And my gut puts me on long-term Jota.
Okay. Do you reckon he's going to start against Leicester?
To go against Twister and Martial? I don't think he does. I don't think he starts. I'd love him to, but I don't think he does. I think Gakpo went off early for a reason.
More points than Rodgers against Newcastle away?
Yeah. Genuinely. Right. I think Jota comes on for half an hour and he probably scores.
I don't agree with the logic, but if you think Jota scores more than Rodgers, you do it. Anyway, I think there's no issue. If Cunha is not banned, there's no issue rolling with your team.
Roll it, Rodgers, reassess.
But obviously, like if you didn't have Robinson now, you could do more like funky things. You could have gone Saka down to.
Stop reminding me about my mistake.
No, mate, you're flying. You're at 80k, right? So it's just like my little things. Like, where's your gut now?
Your gut now is to sell Saka and bring in Jota, or so Martial's advice.
What's the issue? Like, why not bring in Odegaard or Fernandes, and who are generally better players than Rodgers?
So I don't want to bring in Odegaard. As I say, this Ipswich game in isolation is fantastic for Arsenal. I've read through the fixtures before. I don't like Arsenal's long-term fixtures. I don't. So I don't want an attacking Arsenal player. If it's not Saka, I just don't. I just think there's points to be made elsewhere. Personally, better points to be made elsewhere. Bruno, I don't trust United enough, mate. You know, at home. Away at City, I know City aren't playing great, but they go and win 2-1. He gets a pen, he scores. His goals seem to be coming from penalties. They then have Bournemouth at home and they lose 3-0. I don't trust United anywhere near enough to bring in an asset that's worth over 8 million. So for that reason, I'd stay away from him. Liverpool, on the other end, top of the league, scoring goals, nice fixture run, second on the ticker. That's where the gamble head comes.
It's almost like a week or two earlier, isn't it? That's the problem.
You're right. I mean, you're right. It is.
Do you think you should do a -4?
No, not if Cunha. No. If Cunha is guaranteed to play, it doesn't get the ban. I won't be doing a -4.
So do you think you move Saka to someone in isolation then, outside of Odegaard and Bruno, who are a bit more, and Son, who are like sure things. You can't afford Son, by that.
No, I can't, because then it scuppers my Cunha move. ask me on Thursday morning. I'll answer.
I think out of those options you're sharing, Jota, as Foam was saying in the chat, Jota is probably the most interesting, but it's probably not the ideal week.
Yeah.
I reckon in isolation, expected points for Jota versus Roger. Roger's probably exceeding because he's going to start.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. He'll get the 90. Jota's a gamble.
So I would personally wait and just like, can I see what happens? And you can get optimal replacements for both Cunha and Saka. But
in the later days, I get it. And this is why you're here, pal. You know, we used to be called we're FPL Apprentice because you're the mentor. You need to. These are the things that I need to learn.
You're the master now, mate. But like, as I was saying to you earlier, it's like what I've learned is there's no good or bad players, right? It's just like, are you lucky or unlucky? I had an 8-year lucky streak. I was come back to bite. Anyway, we'll chat about it, but it's a tough one for you.
Yeah, I
when it's obvious. I would not compound it by doing a -4. No way.
No, I won't. I won't. Unless, as I say, unless I hear Cunha's out, I will not be touching a -4.
And that's the way why you've got such a deep midfield, 5 midfield player. Like you can play them for these moments.
True. I just think Newcastle are decent at home. I'll tell you more. Right now, if you're asking, my gut is sell Saka for Jota. But I like the role. And I'll be honest, mate, I never ever thought of the role. But I get your point. I do think it's a week too early to pick my Liverpool player.
The role, you can decide then. Cunha, are you going to upgrade him massively? Or not?
Yeah.
And you'll see like the Liverpool players, you see who a better read on who's going to play the next game. Is Diaz injured? Does Gakpo get injured? Does someone play 90 minutes? Like it's interesting. But yeah, I think Jota seems pretty hot in isolation, but not the single game week.
I get it. I do get what you're saying, and I will very much take it on board.
Right.
I will not be going for Bernardo Silva. I know you're messing Martial, by the way, but I will not be going for Bernardo Silva. Although he's playing 100% of the minutes. He was a differential week in, week out, constantly. But yeah, that we did say 2 hours because we both had a few beers. But hopefully, it didn't show. The chat will be able to tell us. I know you probably saw us drinking whilst we were chatting away. But that brought us in. If Cunha is suspended, FOMO's playing Rodgers.
And that's good.
Rodgers on your bench then.
FOMO knows FPL.
And he is beating me. He's ahead of me in the league. Damn you, FOMO.
It could be a bluff.
Come up to you, pal.
Who knows?
The mind games have begun. FOMO is a Wenger in disguise. Mind games have begun.
FPL's done. What are we chatting now? Darts, movies, TV shows. What are we talking?
I'm happy to talk about. I've been watching most of the darts. Darts. Anybody but Littler. Anybody but Littler. Littler. I've watched darts. I've played darts. I joined a dart team at university, so I've been watching darts since then. So this is how people how old I am. I graduated 14
years. You had the uniform as well.
I had a uniform. I had Dofaldinho on the back because Doff's my nickname, and we were all named after footballers.
Nickname as well. Do you have a walkout as well?
I had a walkout, which was the Gladiators theme tune, TV show Gladiators. It was I did start with do you know Money for Nothing? The opening for Money for Nothing, but it's like 35 seconds long, so it didn't come out until it the bass hit, and it was too long, so I changed it to Gladiators. But I've been watching darts ever since. And I've never seen the media fall in love with somebody so quickly as they have Luke Littler. And
I can't stand it. Any more button.
We should set up a darts podcast for this sort of conversation. But
I'll be the apprentice for sure after a game.
Yeah. So Humphreys didn't get the credit he deserved for winning it last year because everybody was banging on about Luke Littler, who didn't win it, by the way. He won the Premier League, granted, and he's an absolute quality player. How did he come second in Sports Personality of the Year? He's world number 4, not the world champion. Luke Humphries, world number 1, world champion. Doesn't even get a sniff. Does me head in, mate.
I'm very glad I'm glad we did that closure. Like, let's talk about darts now. So like, you can put the timestamps, and everyone's like switched off now. But like, anyway, everyone's listening. We're chatting shite now for the next 10, 15 minutes. Happy Christmas.
Somo's in for the darts, I can tell.
Yeah, no, agree. You're very good at darts as well, aren't you? I'd say I'm the above average pub player. You're not far off Paul.
I used to play a lot of darts. I'm not that good. I used to play a lot. Yeah. So misspent youth. Yeah. Not a bad player.
What are you looking forward to more? Boxing Day football or Christmas time darts?
Boxing football's always number 1, pal.
Okay.
Football, but I do love. Becky used to play a little bit of darts, mainly because I made her, to be honest. But so we do every year usually watch the PDC final. So that's always a nice thing to do. But yeah, definitely the football first.
What day is it on this year?
It's on a Friday, like of all days. It seems like it's a weird day to do it. Final.
I think I'm working.
Usually the Sunday, right?
I think I'm working.
Yeah, it's Friday finals odd. So Friday the 3rd of Jan. Annoyingly, I think Little are winning.
Who do you want?
As a player, man, I want to win it. I want Humphries to win it.
Yeah, okay.
I just think, as I say, he didn't get the credit he deserved last year. So if he becomes 2-time world champion, 2 times in a row, by the way, maybe the media will start to give him a bit more respect for it.
You're not
assuming you're going Gerwin Price.
You're an Iceman fan.
No. The screaming on the hockey, pal. Not for me.
That's what you need.
Anybody in the chat a darts fan, by the way? Who you backing? Let us know. But yeah, I'm assuming as a Welshman, you're Gerwin Price all over.
Yeah, I love the pantomime villain though, innit? Playing to the crowd.
Yeah.
Where I'm going for Christmas, apparently there's a darts board has been installed, so I'll bring my headphones just to like replicate it. Don't quite have the physique.
Lock them out.
Don't have the physique, but I'll bring the headphones.
So there's one for you. Somebody that we both work with. No, I'm assuming nobody in the chat will know, but if I said Skinner, you'll know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Gerwin Price. Skinner used to play rugby, as did Gerwin Price. And Gerwin Price punched Skinner in a rugby match. Ask him about it.
No way. I'm surprised he's still survived. Still alive.
Decked him. And that is why I don't. It just shows me Price is a prick. That's what it tells me.
Yeah, picking the little guy, isn't it?
Honestly. And Skinner's not even small, but he's not Gerwin Price, you know.
Against him. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. But anyway, that's done. Right. Christmas series, Christmas TV recommendations.
I'll give you a quote I've been saying all week, and I haven't watched it yet, and I want to. Get on your knees and tell me you love me.
What's that from?
Do you recognise it?
No.
Home Alone 2.
Oh.
I know I've watched the first one, not watched the second one, and I can't wait to watch it. What about you? What's on your list?
Mate, I've done all the Christmas films. I think top 3 pure Christmas. Nativity is a good British classic, isn't it? That is a bit of shit, but it's a good British classic. If you wrote that, then it's. Would you count Cool Running as a Christmas film? I know it's not Christmas, but it's got snow.
Die Hard, yes. Cool Runnings, no.
It's borderline, but Cool Runnings. I only put that. Put that there.
I've not heard that argument before.
It's got snow in it. It's got snow. I think the crossover is it's got John Candy in it, the big guy. He's like in that. He's in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. But some people say, it's Thanksgiving is a Christmas. So that's the crossover.
I mean, surely it's only got snow in it because they do bobsleigh.
It was Winter Olympics, isn't it? Like what other Winter Olympic films are there?
I know, but Winter Olympics is in the summer, isn't it? I don't know.
True.
I think
Nah.
this Winter Olympics.
That was in Canada. That was definitely like winter in Canada. Like, yeah. I'll add that as a dubious one, but yeah, all the standard ones. Home Alone 1. The Holiday is good, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't mind. I do want to know in the chat, yes or no, is Cool Runnings a Christmas movie? Yes or no? And then after that, we're going to ask you about Die Hard. So yes or no for Cool Runnings first. Put it in the chat.
Die Hard is a bit of a cliche, though. That's like the dating kind of question. Oh, pizza. Does like pineapple belong on a pizza?
No.
At least Cool Runnings a bit original, an original like addition to that.
True.
But I mean, nothing. I actually saw I saw a good Christmas film the other week, last Christmas. That was quite.
Oh yeah.
I'll send you the link.
Emilia Clarke.
Yeah. From Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Thank you, Jack. By the way, Jack's backing me up. No to Cool Runnings. Jack, yes or no? Die Hard. But yeah, last Christmas was good, and that also got Christmas #1 this year. Again, second year running for Wham. I think I've told you this, pal. I am a Christmas #1. I'm a nerd when it comes to Christmas #1s. It is only the second time the same song's been Christmas #1 twice.
Yeah. Well, you can tell Dave is a bit of a pub quiz host. And if he's not hosting it, you want him to be in your team. Like the one time he's been in my team,
we won it. We won the quiz.
What was the prize?
Jack said yes to go. Well, we've done Die Hard apparently. Apparently we've done it. Sorry, Jack, I didn't realize we'd done it, man. But he's put yes to Die Hard. The prize we won. Did we win bar tab?
It was steaks, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Is that what it was? Steaks. Right. That'll do.
Right. I've extracted nothing from you, mate, from that chat. But like series, couple of days off now. Series to watch, like a couple of quiet days now. What TV series?
Well, I've got one for you, pal. I've got one for you. So FOMO's on my side, by the way. Cool Runnings isn't a Christmas movie. FOMO, Die Hard, yes or no? On TV series, Boxing Day, Hello Season 2 of Squid Game. Are you a fan?
Yeah. I'll rate that. Yeah, I saw it. It was in. They had a bit of a show in Cardiff City Centre the other day. Like it was. Yeah, looking forward to that.
I'm excited for that to come back.
That little bit of Gavin Stacey in it, special.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I'm a nerd, so I'll be watching the Doctor Who Christmas special as well.
I'll give that a miss, mate. I'll give that a miss. Keep up appearances, isn't it?
You'll be watching the King's Speech.
Me. Have you seen Rivals?
No.
Have you heard of it?
No. What's that?
Starring Danny Dyer.
All right. So is it any good? It's usually decent.
I say a link, mate. It's a bit of a Bridgerton-esque thing where it's like British countryside, little bit cheesy, set in the 1980s, 1990s, and it's got all these rich posh people in the countryside, but like they've all got the love triangles and whatnot. It's good. I would rate that. Rivals.
That's
new British drama. Very good.
Okay. Posh people in love triangles sounds in big houses sounds a bit like that weird movie that was on this year, was it? I think you made me watch, and it was really odd.
What was that called?
Decent movie, but it was.
It was named after the house that they were staying in.
Yeah.
It was like...
Yeah. Go with an S, I think. Somebody in the chat will tell us. Twister, rather watch some stand-up comedy. I'm a massive James Acaster fan, and he's just got a new show on Sky Arts. So if you're into James Acaster, check that one out. If not, if you haven't ever watched Bob Mortimer and Paul Whitehouse with Gone Fishing, or And Away, I think it's called. What a show that is, by the way. Stupid as, because they're both old as shit now, but some unbelievable stories and just daft. Get watching that, Twister.
Okay. You won't get this on. What's your favorite FPL channel?
My favorite FPL channel. I mean, I've got a back focal.
You won't get.
I've got a back him. He's not...
I can't say that. Obviously, we're both good friends.
Yeah.
Not getting that.
The guy's helped us out a lot. What's your favourite?
What do I listen to?
Yeah.
I like a little bit of Black Box occasionally.
Black Box? Yeah.
I like a little bit of Always Cheating. You seen that one? Heard that one? That's that.
Yeah.
Nice
One
one.
of the American lads.
Bit more less serious, a bit more chatty. Two mates. Sometimes The Wire. That's all right.
Seeing that one.
I'll send you a link. It's decent, but you won't get these great recommendations. No one's ever heard of Cool Runnings.
As a Christmas movie. And if you don't like James Acaster after you've watched it, Twister, I apologise for wasting your time. Great to see FOMO is going to be watching Squid Games too. Get on that if you haven't watched that. But my recommendation with Squid Game, Matt, did you watch it dubbed or did you watch it where you had to read the what are they called?
Subtitles.
Those
subtitles,
things.
Of course.
Subtitles. That's the word I'm looking for. Subtitles.
Of course.
I feel like it was better. I feel like it was better with the subtitles.
You've seen Parasite, haven't you? You must have seen Parasite.
I've seen Parasite. Yeah.
Subtitles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've said watch Parasite is one of my top 10 films, and people watched it and like, I didn't like it. It's like, watch it in dubbed, and it was like, watch it in dubbed, it's like awful, isn't it?
Yeah, Wreck was the first one I ever did with that. Wreck. Have you ever seen Wreck?
Well, probably. But give me the plot.
It's like firemen. It's in Spain, and firemen go into a building, which is like an abandoned building because they're trying. I can't think why the firemen are there, but it's basically full of zombies. That sounds terrible, by the way.
I've seen that, mate.
And then America made basically a shot-for-shot remake of it called Quarantine, and it's Quarantine shit. Wreck's amazing. So there's another tip. This has got very very south from Christmas recommendations to Parasite and Wreck. So
I think
neither of them are Christmas movies.
This is the after chat, right? This is like standard pod after chat that we just chat nonsense. So it should be a premium. If we were big and had a paywall, this would be the premium service, right?
You get it for free. Free chat, not behind a paywall. But yeah, it's we'll no doubt catch up. Yeah, we'll no doubt catch up throughout. We'll give each other tips. I don't think we're going to make it ahead of game week 19, unfortunately, because that is on the 29th, and I think we're both away for Christmas. Neither of us. Well, I don't live where my family are from, and you've got to travel for your family as well. So I don't think we'll make it for that. But we should be back in about a week's time, so that'll be ahead of game week 20. The swing and those 5 yellow cards will disappear, apart from Liverpool and Everton for another game week. But those 5 cards will disappear, which gives me then a Jackson outside. So that goes for the roll recommendation you gave me. Yeah, I'm still chatting shit. The Guinness was maybe getting to me, man. I had too many in the pub as well. So, but yeah, appreciate your time, man.
I thought you were very charming. I thought you were great.
Thank you. I'll try. So yeah, the Scouse charm is coming through. But yeah, appreciate your time. Appreciate your time, Paul. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you, and obviously, thank you to everyone who joined the chat. Thank you to all the listeners. But I want to say big thank you to yourself as well, mate. I know you put a lot of effort into this, and it's always a pleasure every week. So yeah, sounds cheesy, but yeah, big thank you to you from me.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Thanks for joining us every week. And yes, just to echo Matt's point, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all you in the chat. Thank you for your message, Mr. Twister. Happy Holidays to you too. Whatever you end up doing in the chat with your transfers, with your role, whatever team you play, hope your arrows are green, except for FPL FOMO, who I hope gets a massive red arrow. Everybody else, all about the greens. Matt, I wish you all the green arrows as well. With your 3 transfers, and we'll see you on the other side of Christmas. I'll catch up with you before New Year, but I appreciate your time. Yeah, good luck everyone, apart from FOMO, as FOMO is noted. I'll bring that up just so people know I'm not just making that up and digging them out. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. I'll stop chatting shit. Have a good Christmas, everybody. May your arrows be green, and we will catch you on the other side ahead of the new year. Until then,